As Jeannie said, my name is Adrienne Good. I'm one of the ambassadors for the Southern Region, and although I am 19 and technically still young enough to be a member, I am also a leader of the Cow Country Judging Club. Previously, I was a member of 4-H for 8 years, so I know where these guys are coming from. Kaylee Peltzer is our first speaker. She is 15 years old, and she's been a member of the Brookson Area 4-H Beef Club for 7 years and the Cow Country Judging Club for 2 years. Her projects include beef, steer, and heifer, horse, sheep, and judging. Kaylee is also one of the key members for the Newell District, and she assists different clubs with clinics to help the members learn more about 4-H. Her presentation is titled, Take a Stand, Lend a Hand.
There's a good chance that all of you in the crowd today have either seen your best friend, that kid that sits at the back of the class, or even grades and above you've been bullied. People bully every day. Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, and all the sponsors out there. Statistics say that 56% of boys and 40% of girls in grades 6 to 8 had bullied someone that school year, according to an international study by Health Canada. Bullying happens when any unwanted or unneeded treatment from a person is done deliberately and repetitively, leaving the target feeling hurt, sad, or scared, and has a hard time defending him or herself. The 4 types of bullying range from verbal to social, physical, and cyber. That's the big one. Verbal bullying is anything that is being done deliberately or repetitively. Spreading rumors or making negative references is just to name a few. Social bullying is like mobbing or excluding others from groups and humiliating a person in front of groups. Physical is anything that you're doing with your body to hurt somebody, hitting, pinching, or destroying or stealing personal belongings. Cyberbullying is the most common kind of bullying these days. It is done by text messaging and Facebook to put down, intimidate, or make fun of a person. People are bolder behind any type of screen. With being bullied nonstop, these kids lose confidence and may not want to go to school or be around other people. Some people think that bullying is part of growing up and that they need to learn how to stick up for themselves. Not everybody has the willpower to do that, though. Bullying may have long-term physical and psychological consequences. These may include withdrawal from family and school activities, wanting to be left alone, shyness, panic attacks, and also nightmares. Bullying is painful and humiliating, and kids who are bullied feel embarrassed, battered, and shamed. If the pain is not relieved, bullying can lead to consideration of self-harm and even suicide. Bullying, youth that learn to get away with violence and aggression continue to do so into adulthood. These kinds of people have a higher chance of dating aggression and criminal behavior. 60% of boys who are nominated as bullies in grades 6 to 9 had at least one court conviction by the age of 24, according to Voices of Children. Have you ever heard of, oh, it builds character, or kids will be kids? Reality is that youth that are bullied repetitively have low self-esteem and do not trust others, and this lowers a person's confidence. Bullying is a learned behavior. They might learn this from watching TV, movies, or at home. Research says that 93% of video games reward violence. As a bystander, you have the power to stop the unnecessary behavior. Kids that bully love an audience. People who can stand by and watch only make the situation worse. A bystander that stands up for the person and tells the bully to knock it off makes a huge difference. Every day, people are trying to prevent bullying in and out of schools, from adults to minors. Adults think that they're doing enough to prevent the problem and thinks it's making a difference. But most bullying is happening when they're not looking. They meet, plan, and enforce the ways that they think the issue should be resolved. As teachers, they are establishing bylaws within the school and empowering staff and students to deal with the skills. Students are creating committees within the schools and with representation from teachers, parents, and students to be proactive against bullying. Pink Shirt Day is an annual day held on November 22nd. People from 25 different countries join together and wear a special pink pledge shirt. This sends a loud, confrontational message identifying themselves to victims as a source of support. More than 2,200 schools, workplaces, and organizations representing more than 1 million people have made a stand. This movement is quickly gaining momentum and spreading across the globe. I'm assuming that most of you know the pop star Lady Gaga. I think that you would agree with me that she is very unique. She had a difficult time in high school when she was harshly bullied for being different. She was teased for being ugly, having a big nose, and being annoying. Also for being interested in theater and always singing and doing her makeup just a little bit different than everybody else. Gaga is now 26 years old and is still struggling on how people think that she is an attention seeker and not a true artist. On December 6, 2011, Lady Gaga took her Born This Way anti-bullying campaign to the White House to prove a point that over 13 million students in the United States are being bullied, and that needs to come to a stop now. President Obama was not in Washington at the time, but was later informed, and Gaga was invited to the White House's bullying conference to state her facts and hopefully make a difference in the long run. What I have learned from this experience of researching and taking notes about bullying is that it is no small problem. Bullying is an issue that is happening all over the world and needs to be addressed to as many people as possible. I have seen bullying firsthand and know of people who have been bullied in the past, and I will always stand up for them if I see it in the future. Bullying stops here, and we can all make a difference. My references were bullyingcanada.ca, standupday.com, articles.newyorkdailynews.com, kidpower.org, redcross.com, and Google Images. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. It didn't work.
Our next speaker is Hayley Alexander. Hayley is 12 years old and is currently in her 4th year of 4-H. She is in the Brookson Area 4-H Club doing light horse, fine arts, and a cooking project. She is also a member of the Cow Country Judging Club doing a judging project. Hayley's speech is called Never Say Never.
He was one in a million. People told him he would never make it, but he never gave up. And his motto is, never say never. Good afternoon, Madam Chairperson and ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to talk about Justin Bieber, his life, and his dreams of influencing others in a positive way. Justin Drew Bieber was born on March 4th, 1994 in Stratford, Ontario. There's something special about him. He was a self-taught musician, playing the drums, piano, and guitar. In 2006, Justin was honored to win 2nd place at a local singing competition called the Stratford Idol. There was something different about him. Other performers there had singing coaches and vocal lessons. Unlike Justin, he was untrained and just sang around the house. Encouraged by this, Justin sang and played guitar outside the local Stratford Theatre, raising almost $3,000 in tips. In 2007, Justin first posted the footage of the contest on YouTube for his friends and family to see. Within months, Justin Bieber was an internet sensation with over 10 million views. Justin was singing Usher, Chris Brown, and Michael Jackson at the time. Growing up, Justin wrote a lot of poetry, and with this poetry, it helped him write his own songs. He was singing and performing them on YouTube. That's when Scooter Braun, a talent agent and a former SOSIDEF marketing executive, found Justin through a Usher video YouTube search. He tracked Bieber down using clues. They met with 7 record labels, and within 7 months of first posting on YouTube, the 14-year-old signed with Usher and Island Def Jam Records. But I want to tell you the real reason I like the unforgettable Justin Bieber. It's because at the age of 12, all the money he spent raising money that year, he spent to buy a vacation for his mom for their first vacation together ever. See, Justin comes from a low-income, single-parent home with not a lot but close family ties. Justin believes he would be nothing without the love and support of his best friend, his mom. With no dad through his life, he has made a reconnection and shares feelings and understandings with other kids going through the difficulties of divorce. I really admire how after the tsunamis, earthquakes, and radiation leaks in Japan, Justin didn't cancel his shows because he knew that's when his fans needed him the most. Justin always tries to do the right thing and to be a better person. That's the kind of love and compassion his fans can relate to. Justin likes to influence others in a positive way and believes you can do anything as long as you put your mind to it. Never say never. Justin's fans lovingly refer to themselves as believers. And we know when Justin smiles, believers smile. And when Justin cries, believers cry. And when Justin falls, believers are there to catch him. Now that I've told you about Justin Bieber, his life, and his dreams of influencing others in a positive way, you know that I'm a believer. And I ask you, are you a believer?
Our final speaker is our youngest of the day. Odin Orston is 11 years old, and this is his 3rd year in 4-H with the Nimble Fingers Club. His projects are crafts and foods, and his speech is titled, "Where's the Beef?"
Where's the beef? Would anyone like to try a new recipe that is nutritious, low in calories, low in fat, but still high in protein? How about some delicious fried land shrimp? Before you took one, you'd probably ask what the heck a land shrimp is. To tell you the truth, a land shrimp is actually another name for an insect. The fact that I'm suggesting that you eat an insect might make you want to throw up, but here's some facts that could change your mind. Madam Chairperson and honorable guests, insects can be grown locally or collected from the wild. These livestock are simple to look after and easy on the environment. Eating insects would solve many of the world's food shortage problems. We just have to get over the yuck factor. Humans throughout time have actually enjoyed eating insects and have not been disgusted at all. For example, the ancient Romans were conquerors, rulers, great emperors, and insect munchers as well. Even today, there are 3.5 billion people worldwide eating insects. It's half the population all interested in entomophagy. That's the scientific name, entomophagy. Making insects part of our diet would help fix some of these following problems. Problem number 1, land and water use. You can farm insects in the millions in a small space, and developing countries are cutting down their rainforest to make room for cattle. Instead, they could leave the trees alone and collect insects from the wild or simply farm them in a Rubbermaid container. Water. A cow drinks thousands of liters of water before it becomes a burger, while just a few wet paper towels a week are good enough for crickets and could produce the same amount of protein. Problem 2, food shortage. The world's population continues to grow and everyone needs protein to stay healthy. Not everyone can afford cows, chickens, or pigs. Insects are less expensive to raise than those animals, which means they're less expensive to buy. Raising and eating insects means more bang for the buck. That's a big help considering 925 million people went hungry in 2010, with the problem getting worse every year. Problem 3, health issues. Insects are low in fat, calories, and carbohydrates, but high in protein, calcium, zinc, iron, and crunch. If you were to eat 3 crickets a day, you were to meet your iron needs. And if you were to eat a burger made from crickets, it would have 3 times more protein and 3 times less fat than a normal beef burger would. When we decide to eat insects, we should eat them without thinking about it as a fear factor challenge. We should think about it as a yum challenge. If you still aren't convinced about eating insects, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you probably already are eating them. Fact is, their antennae, legs, and eggs are in almost every single commercially processed thing we eat. Health inspectors always allow a certain percentage of insect in our food. Insect parts are even sometimes used to make a pink dye in food. And if you don't think you want to eat the whole bug, another choice is to grind them into flour. As flour, insects can pass almost undetected into almost any food item, like bread or even cookies. So where is the beef? Well, it's still on my plate. I still love beef and I never plan to give it up. However, I actually have eaten an insect, in case you were wondering, nacho-flavored mealworms. So you see, I am willing to open my mind and my mouth to new foods. I know the problems of food shortage and using our land and water carefully won't go away, so we need to think about how we raise our food and even what our food should be. Maybe one day we'll be deciding to go to Kentucky Fried Cricket, Buggy King, or maybe even Termite Taco. So settle down, eat some waxworms, or try special chocolate chirp cookie. I'm Odin. For some reason, they don't allow me on any food committees anymore, and this has been Why She Eat Insects, because you'll never know if you like it until you try it.